Hello, traders. We're here for our daily recap, Thursday, March 12th, and looks like all sorts of bubbles got hit by the end of the day. So take it over, George. Show us what we got.
Yeah, it was a heck of a day. Heck of a day. Let's see. Let's start with the ES here. I've got my kind of screen zoomed out because I actually want to go back just to yesterday. So real quick, because a lot of times we'll call these levels out and we do it all ahead of time. But what's really interesting is that if you watched even yesterday's video, you'll see that we had just a repeat of targets that were achieved overnight. So we had like a rubber band down here. So this is why I wanted to talk about it, because it didn't happen in the intraday period. So it's worth covering because even though we weren't here trading it, it doesn't stop the market from doing what it's set out to do. So it actually did get to that rubber band initially, like way after the close. So I just wanted to scroll back and sort of show that real quick. Then let's get into today. So we got it all. We got every target we put out, and we just recently got to the final one here, right about 4 o'clock. So let's find our. I was awake early today, super early. It was raining where I was at, and the lightning and the thunder kept me up. So I figured I'd just get up and do some charting. But so they had a pre-market scenario, and I won't go into this much because again, this is way super early in the morning. I started charting around 5:30 or so, East Coast time, and we had a hurdle up here, and this is really what set the tone for the day. So it's worth mentioning because it's always, you have to know where the market's been to kind of know where it's going next, and so that we can actually get our projections out there as accurate as we can. So it did all that, and then it never really broke the hurdle. Now, what's most important on the ES, and we had pointed this out yesterday also, was that the decision point up here at 67.63 that was it. Like they had to get back through that in order to basically end the move to the downside. If they couldn't get through there, then they were just going to keep on trucking. So let's find our 920. So here's our 920 bar. And the only thing that was happening right at 920 as we'd open the room up was that the market had a has to hold here, which was sort of in correlation with that previous rubber band from the morning session. So they kind of held it, they wicked down a couple different times, but then the conversation in the room was really pretty simple because we were already well into the move. And this is extremely important to understand. Matter of fact, not even before the market opened. So here at 925, we had already achieved first target of this pretty substantial scenario that we'd had mapped out. So I'm not a fan of chasing. And I just let everybody know, like, it's up to you if you want to engage. But the only thing that's really on the maps at this point is that they got to get back through the 3 a.m. bar, which is right here around 67.31. And if they can't do that, it's pretty aggressive, folks, because you're 30 points into this move from what happened in the pre-market. So for anybody who took it, good for them. We already had targets planned out well ahead of time, and it got to the first two targets, even hit our little rubber band here, and you kind of see the reaction off this guy. That was an awesome trade.
Yeah, somebody took
Took
that.
us back.
Somebody took that first
Yep,
bounce off of that. I forget who it was. Might have been Big Chief.
it was Big Chief.
Yeah.
Yep,
Good job,
he was
Big Chief.
thrilled.
Good job.
Exactly. And you can kind of see this on repeat. So, like, even if you look at this, here, that's the retrace all the way back to the first target, which is very common. And then it came back and retested again. And we'll get into the other rubber bands here in a second. So, after it had done that and it came back and retested, I had really only one thing to point out, which was here we go. And I highlighted it with a box. I said, this zone right here on the ES now at this point, and I told him everything we do this morning, it's all going to be chasing because it's all chasing entries at this point. I'm not looking to, sell in too low. I always want some sort of a retrace back, which actually it kind of brings up a good point because I've gotten this question a few times. We advocate for buy low, sell high. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking for the absolute top or the bottom of the market. It's not exactly that. Like, will that happen every once in a great while? Sure, you'll actually land at the legitimate top or the bottom of the market. Like, even if you took this rubber band here that just happened right on 4 o'clock, it's so far, right? We posted it, we knew it was happening, but so far it's the bottom of the market. So you could have counter traded that one. But all that being said, it's to say that look for the retrace. Let it come back to you. Because in my mindset, yes, we have targets all laid out, and yes, it achieved every single one of them. But if I'm willing to short it, say at 67.10, then why wouldn't I be willing to short it at 67.22 or 67.25? So, just the way that you kind of get your mind prepped for what you're trying to do. After that, yeah, first whole series, bam, rubber bands, tagged it several times. Never could get back through the targets. I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. This is all just noise, folks. Everything in here, all that, just noise. Because they already got done most of what they were trying to finish here by 11:15, and then it was just taking the trees, like making sure they could take the money from the hands of the weak, quite frankly. And then later, here we go, last rubber band. So we really only had one entry. That was it. We waited for the pullback. It got into our zone right here. That was your only option. We did have other options if that one didn't make it, but obviously it made it, and that was it. That was our whole day. There wasn't really a whole lot going on in the room today, other than just making money. NQ, again, similar pattern. I was also awake very early. Charting here. This one was interesting. It had achieved an upside target right around 6:05 in the morning, and then it never, same thing, it never broke past it. So when we started here at 9:20, really the same conversation. It too had something of a hurdle to overcome. Same thing, it muddled around here for a bit. And then timing wise, it was the same conversation. Both NQ and ES for the aggressive attempt, in the chasing entry, was back at the top of the 3 a.m. So the ES held it really tight, nailed it within like a point, but the NQ, of course, wicked pretty heavily above 3 a.m. After that, I think conversation just went dead because it just went target, 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 target. That was it. There's nothing to talk about.
It's a good problem to have.
It was a good problem to have. But that's kind of how we do it in the room. It's to emphasize that it's not that everybody in our trade room is buying at the absolute bottom and selling at the absolute top of the market. No, that'd be awesome. But really, it's just to say, like, where are we within the cycle? And it doesn't have the possibility of pulling back. It doesn't matter if it's going up or it's trending down. It makes no difference. Wait for the pullback. We'll point them out. There's usually three. Actually, there's always three. There's always three possibilities. And if it doesn't do it within all those three, then it's a totally shot scenario anyway. But either way, that's how we do it.
Okay, and TGIF tomorrow's Friday, so I think we got a little bit of news, and it should be a good way to end the week. Hopefully everybody will be green. That's all for me. Anything for you?
No, I think we'll just see what Friday has to do. We'll see.
Sounds like a plan. We'll see you all in the room tomorrow.
Yeah. Come join us. And again, we got the free course attached to the bottom of this video, as we do with all the videos. And you can go back and review the videos from the past and actually look and follow along and see how we're doing with respect to the things that we call out, and see if, do they actually happen day in and day out.
Sounds good. We'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.